There we go. Wonderful. So we've started recording here. Okay. First of all, welcome everybody. Welcome to our March Tizard Research Seminar presentation. This seminar is being recorded and we will be uploading this to YouTube. It might take a little bit of time to get it on YouTube, but it will go on YouTube eventually. My name is Dr. Susie Mejia Bonaño. I'm a lecturer at the Tizard Center. To give you a little bit of a flavor of what the Tizard Center is and what we do, we are a research center that is a team of academics that are dedicated to social justice, and our work is underpinned by values related to anti-discriminatory practice, social equality, and the rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. Our work at the Tizard Center spans a range of topics, including health, communication, online lives, special education, autism and neurodiversity, and behaviors that challenge. We do offer master's courses in a range of areas. So we have a master's in intellectual and developmental disabilities, one in autism studies, one in analysis and intervention in intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we also have a couple of master's courses in applied behavior analysis and positive behavior support. We also have some opportunities to join us for PhD studies. So please do check out our website if you're interested in learning a little bit more about our courses or coming to study with us. Finally, we also have a peer-reviewed journal called the Tizard Learning Disability Review. This journal has an impact factor. It focuses on individuals with an intellectual disability, and it is a practitioner-focused journal. So if you're a practitioner and you have some good examples of good practice that you'd really like to share and disseminate, please do consider submitting your work to our journal so we can continue to disseminate examples of good practice. And that is enough about us today, and enough from me. Today we have an in-house speaker. So we have my lovely colleague, Dr. Paraskavi Triantafilapulu, or Vivi as we know her. Vivi is going to be talking to us today about an NIHR-funded study about online lives of people with intellectual disabilities. So Vivi, without further ado, over to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Susie. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I've been amazed with the responses and all the messages that we've been getting about this study. So I'm really excited to share the findings with all of you today. So yes, Safe Online Lives, so internet use and safety for people with learning disabilities. I've been using the definition, so the definition is the same, but the title, like learning disabilities or intellectual disabilities, interchangeably here. So please forgive me if I slip. So next. My slides are not, yes, there we go. So just that this is a funded study. So this is a disclaimer from NIHR that everything is our views. And I would like to start a bit with a background. So why Safe Online Lives? Why the internet? You know, all of us, we do go online. Are people with learning disabilities any different? We're going to be talking a lot more about that today. But as Darren Chadwick was talking about in 2013, quite a few years ago now, they are less likely to use the internet when compared to the general population. But since then, I think a lot of things have changed. And COVID, first of all, you know, COVID came along and that made things increase the internet use for everyone. So people with learning disabilities, they're reaching similar levels now with the general population. And what does that mean? So what does that mean for people with learning disabilities, and can they actually access the internet the same way that we do, the same way that the general population does? And often they're not able to use the ICT independently. They need support often from family and professionals. But then looking at the effectiveness of the support, it depends on the carer's training and it depends on the carer's attitudes. So caregivers can become either enablers, recognizing the opportunities for participation and facilitating online activities for people with learning disabilities, or they could be acting as gatekeepers with monitoring and hindering access to the internet. Also, we have financial barriers there, and you know, people not being able to buy the devices or have the online data, and accessibility issues, literacy issues. So these are a few of the barriers. And then moving on to the risks. What are the risks? There are risks there on the internet for everyone, for me and for you and the general population. And however, those risks for people with learning disabilities, are they elevated? So they often have negative experiences. So there's often verbal abuse, sexual exploitation, and all these negative experiences that people they are coming across. But there's no police involvement, so people are not going to the police, and that's carers as well. They would not be going to the police. But then thinking on the other side, can people with learning disabilities be perpetrators of online crime? And, you know, similar to the general population, people with learning disabilities do engage in bullying behaviours in an in-person context. So what does that mean about their online behaviour? So the main strategy for people and carers and caregivers to protect people with learning disabilities is to act as gatekeepers with monitoring their internet access and often blocking them, so from going online. And we're going to be talking a lot more about all these issues later on. So apart from the the barriers and the risks, I wanted to also talk about the benefits and the opportunities. So people do have an opportunity to increase the social networks. They have the opportunity to increase their friendships, past research has shown. And during COVID in particular, they felt very much connected. What we would have all done without the internet during COVID, really. It kept us all sane, and it reduced loneliness. And people with learning disabilities were not different there. So here is where we come in. So the aims of the horse study was about, so we wanted to know about how people with learning disabilities use the internet, especially like, so it was coming off COVID as well. So we thought that there would be, you know, more research that is needed, and if things have changed as well. And we wanted to know more about what the risks are, what the benefits are and the opportunities that people come across, but also what are the barriers really, what, if there are any, what are the barriers to internet use. And this is us. This is what we did. Today, we will be focusing only on some aspects of the study, but I just wanted to give you a full a timeline here. So this is in February 2021. This is when Jessie, a research assistant in the project, joined us, and we started the study. And we started off with an online survey, and I'll be talking a bit about the online survey today. And later on then we held interviews with people with learning disabilities, and then we also held focus groups with carers, family carers, paid carers, but also safeguarding professionals. So what we mean by that is people that they have that safeguarding element in their roles, like a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or support, social worker. And then moving on, we did some social media observation. So we watched the people going on social media, and actually it's more like of an interview while they're going through the social media and sharing their experiences with us. And with all that, a very exciting part is the interactive app that we came up with. And we'll be talking a lot more about that today. And the horse study concluded in January. Just now we've finished, that means that we've finished collecting the data. So we are in the write-up period where we are analysing all the data and getting all our reports ready. So I'll be talking a lot more today about the online survey that we did with the people with learning disabilities, because we also did an online survey with carers, professionals. I'll be talking a lot more about the interviews and the interactive app. We didn't have a lot of time, just an hour today. I could be talking about this for hours. Okay, so who has been involved in the Save Online Lives? It was so many people were involved. 70 services have been promoting and supporting us with the study, and that means a lot of NHS trusts, a lot of local authorities and service providers. And why am I putting that out there? It's because people could see the importance of this. It was a period where we were coming out of COVID and services were stretched, they were understaffed, they were burned out, but they still wanted to be part of this. And that meant everything for us. So that's just a flavour of some of the organisations that that helped us, and there are many more than that. I just wanted to recognise some of them. But in general, within the Save Online Lives, the central idea is co-production, and here's VJ, Mark, Julie and Alan, and they're part of our advisory group. They're our advisory group of people with learning disabilities, and believe me when I say that they would speak their minds, they would put us in the right way, and in the in the latest event that we did, as very correctly Julie said, that we were getting it wrong a lot of the times. So they were putting it back right for us. So I'm really grateful to them all. Okay, so talking now about the online survey and talking to you a bit more about this, what we did. So it was an easy read survey for people with learning disabilities. We had two versions of it, one with pictures and one without pictures. And that came out after consulting with our advisory group. And here's an example here I've got for you, right on the side that you can be looking at while I'm talking to you. So this is for people with learning disabilities, but we also had 3 different versions of the survey developed for carers and professionals. So we had a version for family carers, paid carers and safeguarding professionals. And what kind of information we collected on? And that's mostly now I'm going to be talking about the survey for people with learning disabilities. We collected information about internet and social media use in general. How were people using the internet? How they've been using the internet? What do they do online? What devices do they use? And we use the Facebook intensity scale, but we replace the word Facebook with the word social media. And so therefore we were able to see how people were using social media really. Then in order to look at the barriers, because remember that's one of the aims, we wanted to see if there are any internet restrictions and how is the accessibility, and all these items were inspired from the literature. And so we pulled everything together and made this whole section up with the barriers. And then looking also at the risks, we use the European Cyberbullying Intervention Project questionnaire. And this questionnaire has got items on cyber victimization, so being a victim, but also cyber aggression, so being an aggressor. And also we found more things that we wanted to add from the literature, and all the items informed by Chadwick et al. As well. So benefits and opportunities, we included friendships, communication, employment, and all the things that we found in the literature again that we wanted to be looking at. So we were looking at the literature, what other people have found, and what other systematic reviews or what other literature has been saying about all these benefits, opportunities, risks, barriers, and how people use the internet. And we included that in a very, very large questionnaire. So who took part? 115 adults with learning disabilities took part, and also 255 carers and professionals also took part. So you can see their equal numbers, really, of family members and paid carers. We didn't make those numbers up, it just happened. But a lot of those safeguarding professionals did take part also. I'm not going to be going into detail about that survey of the carers and professionals, but I will be going into a bit more detail about the survey that we did with the people with learning disabilities and some of our findings there. So from those people with learning disabilities, so remember that in order to take part, you should have, in order to take part in the study, in that survey, we were asking people that, do you have a learning disability and do you use the internet? And 74% of those people, they reported going online every day, which is impressive. And 79% of them, they use social media. And almost half of them, they use social media every day. Also, 80% of them use it through a smartphone, as the general population does. And 57% said that they use the internet more now than before COVID. Isn't that the same with everyone? I don't know. I don't know if it is, but certainly for people with learning disabilities, it seems like this is the case. So COVID-19 kind of opened up that new world for them. So what did we learn? Some of the preliminary analysis that we've done. So it really showed that participants that reported more frequent engagement in cyber aggression, so bullying someone online, were also experiencing cyber victimization. So they were also the victims. So thinking about it, that is mind-blowing, really. Someone can be the victim and at the same time they can be the cyber aggressor. So they could be bullying someone online, but they can be also at the same time receiving bullying. So this is something that we need to unpick a bit more. And participants who reported that social media was part of their everyday activity and routine, they experienced higher cyberbullying behavior, but also higher cyber aggression. So the more they were spending time online, the more they were experiencing, both cyberbullying, but they were also more the aggressors as well. And I thought that I would just give you a bit of a flavour about what it was found out here. So these are all findings that we had in terms of aggression. So there's a lot of things that came out significant in terms of aggression. And that means that if someone was feeling isolated more than once, then they were showing more aggression. Or if compared to someone that didn't experience any isolation, or if people would show more online gambling, that behavior would be more than once, then they would also show more aggression, and that's compared to the people that they didn't show online gambling or experience harm from meeting strangers in real life. So meeting someone online and then meeting them in real life, and if they had done that more than once, they actually showed more aggression as well, cyber aggression. The same with request of intimate contact. As you can see there, it's more than once, but also once, compared to no request of intimate content. So people were getting angry, and then it seems to me that they were putting it back out there, or being sent unsolicited content. And if that had happened more than once, then people would also show more cyber aggression, or meeting strangers online more than once, again, more cyber aggression, and request to send bank details, and if that would be more than once. So very interesting results here that we need to unpick a bit more, but there's not enough time for us to cover all that, but there's going to be the papers coming out, so look out for those. Moving moving on, I want to talk about the interviews a bit more, and what about those interviews? So we had 20 participants, 11 males, 9 females, and they were all living in a variety of different homes, like either living with family, independently in care homes, supported accommodation, and what did we find? So we did a thematic analysis of those 20 interviews, and even though it didn't come up as a theme, we saw it as a framework. Those social media was a framework, because a lot of all these things that we see that took place and people were talking about, it did happen during social media use. So the first theme is about fear and mistrust. So there's uncertainty and fear of the internet. Someone said here, it takes me a lot longer learning to think, is it safe? Is it not? And I can't always work it out. It should be simple, but it's not simple. And then there was self-imposed restrictions. Like someone said, I don't use Facebook only because I feel there are a lot of people around the world, and like then my privacy will not be secure. And I feel like anything can happen. I feel about like my account might be hacked. So, and then is all these stories about these online risks that people have been hearing about, negative stories. So someone said, because I've had people having really bad experience, and actually has really turned me off. So turned them off from using the internet or using social media, or getting online a lot. So that has come up a lot. And a second theme, it's about barriers. So things are often inaccessible. And so one of the participants said here, and layouts of stuff as well. It's like instructions. I can't really read instructions. So I don't know, making a bed, if you showed me how to make it, I could do it. But I can't read the instructions because they're not in easy read. And then talking, and people often don't have the equipment or internet connection to go online. So someone said, I didn't actually get any equipment myself until I was quite late, really, like probably not until I was maybe like 20, because we couldn't afford stuff basically. So here, actually the participants were talking about that digital divide that we see, and also thinking, but also because of the risks and the restrictions are often put in place. And these are intended as a means of protection. So someone said here, mostly at night, there are restrictions, like sometimes they switch off the Wi-Fi or change the password. That's the carers. And I think they want us to sleep and not to stay on the internet for long. So these are restrictive practices that we saw a lot. And then moving on, next theme that came up, it was about online risk. It's a lot of sub-themes there, but I'm just using some quotes here to give you the flavour. So one of the participants said he found out that he needed to be connected all the time, and he had the fear of missing out. Just found it very difficult to switch off, and that is that threat to well-being. So people wouldn't be able to switch off from it. And I had actually, someone else said, I had actually had someone who tried to say that they were like an 18-year-old girl, and then they said they weren't. And then they said they were going to contact pedophile hunters. So that is in relation to contact with the law. We saw a lot of those behaviours where people with learning disabilities would think that they were contacting someone that is over the age of 18, but however they were under the age of 18. Another quote that I've got there is, I ordered myself a mobility scooter. Will it come? I don't know, but I paid £43 for it. If it don't come through, then I've lost £43. That's my fault again. So it's that helplessness, and that it's my fault. It's because of me. I don't get it. And probably with that person, £43 for a mobility scooter, probably, that was probably a scam. Another theme that came out, it was about help and support. There was good support, there was poor support as well, and there was self-support. And people have been saying, like, I've been taught how to do it by the carer, but if I had to do it on my own, I don't think I'd be talking to you now like this. So we were using Zoom. So it's really good to have someone help me do this, to learn on my own. And then talking about poor support, I had a support worker. Yes, I did tell her, but she just basically said, you have to be, be careful who you're talking to on Facebook. So this person was talking about how they needed more support. And then the self-support, it's like Microsoft Office. I don't know how to use a certain programs, then I look on the internet. And there was a lot of peer support that we found out, that we saw as well. So people showing to others. And then it was that empowerment, that feeling of empowerment, of independence and increasing accessibility. I love the freedom it gives me, they said, and the stuff I can do on the internet and don't have to rely on anything else. I can even, the simple things, I can order my medication through an app and it gets delivered. And then exploring your identity, and saying I express myself online because of my own opinion, like because I want to have my say of what I think about what's going on in the world. And that was really empowering for a lot of our participants. And people thinking about the future. So the future is online, talking about how everything is moving online and we need to move with it. People are very ambitious, but they do need support. Like participants saying, my charity organization has its own radio station, but now I think we should move to the 21st century and do podcasts instead. How amazing is that? Or to see more people with complex needs get online, and more people that don't use words to get online, and more people with profound and multiple disabilities get online, because they're missing out as well. So that is about thinking of the future and thinking about accessibility for everyone. Internet should be there for everyone. Okay, the very fun stuff now that I'm getting all excited about that I want to share with you is the app, the interactive app. So we used all the interviews and everything that we found out in the interviews and parts that we found out in the focus groups that the carers talked about to actually put it together in an interactive app. And we wanted to explore how adults with learning disabilities, they navigate different potential online scenarios, and how do they respond to risks, to the barriers, but also to the opportunities that they might come up online. And this is how we did it. So we developed 4 different scenarios. The first scenario was talking about online trolling, online bullying. The second one was about online dating. The third one was about accessibility. And the fourth one was about online job seeking. That was a lot of what we saw in the interviews as well. So we mapped that, and we only had the space for 4 scenarios, I'm afraid. But it was good to get us started. How much work was involved in that? So we had developed 3 avatars. And what we did with the avatars, they all had some characteristics. Like Aiken, there he had characteristics of Williams syndrome, Vicky of Down syndrome, and Lynn was a wheelchair user. And what we asked people to do, our participants, it was to advise or to support one of the avatars through all the 4 scenarios. And I'm going to share with you in a minute how we did that. But I want to talk about the app development first, and how we had Square Pegs Arts in here in the University of Kent in the Gulbenkian, and people with learning disabilities giving their voices to the game characters. And so members of the Square Pegs Arts had experience with acting and performance, and we employed them to do the voice acting for our characters. And so what did we do? So we had 30 adults with learning disabilities these were our participants that used the app. From 21 to 80 years old, they all used the internet, and they were all from around Kent and London, and they all went through the 4 scenarios with us. And here is just an example of Vicky being trolled online.
Hi, my name's Vicky. I have a learning disability. I got this tablet for Christmas and I've been using it a lot since then. Sometimes I find it difficult to know what to do, and I asked for help from my key worker, but he's not here yet today. Can you help me? I just got a message online from someone that I don't know. They said some bad things and called me names. I feel really upset. I'm not sure what to do next. What do you think would be best?
Don't do anything. Just ignore it. Hopefully it won't happen again. Reply and say something nasty back to them. Report the message and block the person who sent it. Reply and say something nasty back to them.
I called them a nasty name and now we're fighting. They are saying more bad things to me. That's John, my support worker. Coming in, John. I just told John about what happened online today. He's been telling me a bit more about how to deal with nasty comments online.
When someone says something nasty, we might want to get back at them and say something to hurt them too. We shouldn't do this. This is because it isn't okay to bully people and say nasty things, even if they have hurt you. If we reply to bullies saying nasty things back, the situation can get worse and we might feel even more upset. There are better things we can do when we get bullied online. We should report bullying online and block people who do this. This means that they can't contact you again and they will probably have their comments taken down.
Thank you for helping me. It's hard to know what to do sometimes when people say hurtful things online, but you can block them and report bad messages.
So that was Vicky being trolled online, and this is what I just wanted to share with you, because they're obviously the different options there that someone could go through, and we had mapped everything out. And then the carer, John, is coming in every time to actually say, yes, good job, I'm happy that that you took that route, or give advice basically. And you can see with the three options that we've had there for the cyberbullying scenario, majority of the people were really sensible. Majority of our participants, they talked about reporting the message and blocking the person who sent it. Keep in mind that a lot of those scenarios people have experienced themselves. There are some people that they did say, so 23% said just ignore it, and 13%, like 4 of our participants said, yeah, reply, say something nasty back to them, as Vicky did in the example. So people still, they do need support with these kind of scenarios. So moving on, an example of Aiken, an online friend asking for money.
Hi, my name is Aiken. I have a learning disability. I got this phone for Christmas and I've been using it a lot since then. Sometimes I'm finding it difficult to know what to do, and I ask for help from my key worker, but he is not here yet today. Can you please help me? I've been talking to a new friend online on a dating app called Jamie. We talk a lot and get along really well, but we haven't met in person yet. Jamie told me that they really like me and feel like they can trust me. Today, Jamie said there was an emergency and they need money right now. Jamie asked me to send £100. I want to help, but I'm not sure if I should send the money. What do you think I should do?
Phone the bank or go into a local branch to ask for help with it. You feel uncertain and they will know more about what to do. Tell Jamie that you're not sure and ask for more information about the emergency. Maybe you can help in a different way. Ask for Jamie's bank details and send them the £100. Hopefully this will help them to sort out their emergency and they can pay it back soon.
I sent Jamie £100. Now they're not replying to my messages and I don't know when I'll get my money back. I need this money to buy my shopping. I'm feeling worried now. Hi John, I'm in my bedroom. You can come in if you want. I told John about what's been happening with Jamie. He has some advice.
Scammers can pretend to be other people online, and they might pretend to be our friends. It isn't safe to transfer money to someone you haven't met in person, even if they say that they might need the money for some kind of emergency or crisis. Talk to someone you trust, like a family member or carer, or phone the bank. Even if you have already sent money, they will be able to support you and give advice.
Thanks for your help with this. It's always good to double check things with someone you trust, like your carer or the bank.
So that was the example of Aiken and around online dating. And as you can see here with what people said, instead of phone the bank or going to a local branch to ask for help, they said, ask for more information about the emergency. Obviously, people would like to help. So this is something that we saw that it was happening a lot with our participants. So people would go to them and they would try to get money off them, either in a dating situation or in a friendly manner and so on. And 9 people, as you can see, 30%, they did say send the £100. So that's rather alarming, and more work is clearly needed here. So another example, the example of Lynn with an online application for work. So something a bit more positive.
My name's Lynn. I have a learning disability. I got this laptop for Christmas. I've been using it a lot since then. Sometimes I find it difficult to know what to do, and I ask for help from my key worker, but he's not here yet today. Can you help me? I have been searching online for information about how to apply for benefits, but I'm finding it really hard. The writing is too small and it's really confusing. I want to be able to find out about reported things on my own.
Leave it. It's too hard to do. I bet you're feeling really frustrated and overwhelmed. Zoom in on the writing and try to read it through on your own. Send an email to the website and ask them to send you the information in Easy Read.
I found the contact email and asked the website to help me. They sent me a copy of the information I need in Easy Read. This is really good and it is much easier to understand. John is just checking up on me. He knows this can be tricky sometimes. I showed John the problem with searching for information about benefits. He agrees that it can be difficult.
Getting information online can be really confusing sometimes. Most of us want to be able to search for things on our own and be independent. Accessibility can be a problem with the internet, but there are some things that can make it easier. Some apps, like Dragon, can read out the writing on websites for you to make this part easier. It was really good that you thought to ask for the Easy Read guides.
Thank you for this. Some websites are very hard to access, so Easy Read versions or things like the Dragon app or VoiceOver are really helpful.
And as you can see also here, 60% of our participants, they said that they would send an email to the website and ask for the information in Easy Read. 23% they would just zoom in and try and sort it out themselves, and 5 of them just said leave it, it's too hard to do. So this is again all the work that is needed around accessibility. And the last one that I've got here is about an online application.
I've been looking for something to keep me busy recently. A friend in my men cat group told me about an ad for a job that was posted online. I had a look and it is a job in a charity shop. It looks like it would be really good for me, but I haven't applied for anything online before and I'm not sure how to do it. What should I do?
Don't apply for the job online. Wait for another job that you can apply for in person. Apply for the job and do your best to fill in the application on your own. Go to the charity shop in person to apply for the job. Apply for the job and do your best to fill in the application on your own.
The application is a bit confusing, but I filled it in slowly. I just did the best I could. It was a little stressful, but I'm happy I did it. It's John again. Maybe he will know about this. Can you come in, John? I told John all about the ad for the job. He has some thoughts on it.
The internet can give us a lot of opportunities, like finding a job. This is really good. It's normal to feel nervous about things like a job application. They can be really tricky, but you can ask for help from someone like a carer, social worker, or family member. In the application, you can also say that you have a learning disability, so they know, and you have the right to ask for reasonable adjustments. This means things to make an interview or work more accessible for you. It could be something like having an assistant to support you, or being able to have flexible work hours.
Thank you so much for your help with this. The internet has so many benefits and it's so good to explore them. I'm happy I learned how to do an application.
And that's it. So majority of people, they said go to the charity shop in person, but also 40% said apply for the job and do your best to fill in the application on your own. And 4 people said just don't do anything, which is again something that we need to be looking into. So these are the 4 scenarios that we used, and some just to give you a flavour of things. I just wanted to conclude and say how grateful we are to all our participants, and the conclusions are that people with learning disabilities are ambitious. They want to learn more. They want to go online, and they have experienced a lot of good things, but also risky situations. So they might need support for some of the online situations that they might come across. So, and having support with things is empowering. The app, it can be a very useful tool for services. We're looking into making it widely available for everyone. I've got their QR code. If you would like us to notify you when this is available for the public, you can click on that QR code and let us know. We're gonna, so we're working on it at the time being. Just wanted to say thanks to the Safe Online Lives academic team that have been working with me all along, and thank you for listening. This is our Twitter. If you have any more, if you need anything, this is my email, and very proud of our accessible website here, so do check it out. I might just go back in the QR code for a second, just to give people the opportunity to get ready and put it up there.